Now they're bringing data. This kind of goes along with like the growth of data in the game, and from hit tracks to Rapsodo to exit velocity to spin rate and everything else. In addition to not only movement assessment with your eyes, but they're bringing in biomechanical movement assessments with sensors on the body to give you a 3D image of the parts moving with a graph, which I think it's all great.
Yeah.
But I think the huge challenge, and you can speak further on this, one from your experience with the Mariners and now with Sac State, there are guys that works well with, and there are guys that does not work well with.
Exactly. It's just another tool that can be used hopefully to help another guy or two out. Specifically things like KVS that are, measuring the kinematic sequence and the order of how your body moves and moves power up the chain and things like that. Some of that stuff, you got to be careful on who you use it with and how you use it with. Sometimes it's going to drown kids' minds with stuff that they don't need. So you got to understand who can handle that. When I was in Dominican Republic down in the TR, we used that kind of stuff, but we had to just make sure what information we gave to the players, because they're younger, and they haven't been exposed to all that technology. It's kind of an introduction to them. So we might not dive into them and show them the graphs and say, hey, this is what's going on. You might have to give them some external cues and kind of help them out that way.
Mm-hmm. So that's another assessment that is knowing their personality.
Exactly.
I think that, do you think that probably comes from a little bit of everybody that is working with this individual, or even like maybe the pseudo fourth professional that comes in as more of the psychologist or like the sports psychologist that maybe has conversations with this person. Is like, they're this type of learner, or they're in this type of mind frame, and they're going to gravitate to these type of this type of feedback. I don't know, but I've thought about a variety of different ways you could maximize someone's potential, and we can't leave out mindset is my other thought.
Yeah, there's definitely players out there who overthink everything, and you get them just locked in on what this graph is saying, and they think something's wrong, and then there goes their competitive edge that they might lose, and they're worried about what their sequence looks like and not competing when they're in the box. That's still going to be number one.
100%.
Always going to be the most important thing, and you don't want to take that away from a kid. So
we try to use it. Obviously I don't have the hitting coach in the room, and I have a performance coach in the room, and obviously I'm just the rehab specialist, but we get a variety of ages of baseball players or pitchers or softball players for that matter, and we shell out this same assessment. We have the conversation with a performance coach, and it's interesting because some are still trying to like gravitate to this idea that their body needs to move. It's like, well, I'm invincible, I can do whatever I want. Like, why do I need to do these things? Have you felt that with the squad you have now, that they're really taking in this information and running with it?
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job of getting all this new information that's provided to them by you guys, and kind of, you give them an easy format for them to take a look at it and follow along, which helps. I think where they can, it's maybe not clicking as much as just to how diligent you got to be with it and how like on top of it you got to be with it. And that's where things can always get better with kids that are 18 to 23 years old.
Yeah.
So hopefully that can, as they do it more and more and more, they kind of see the results. And with anything in a young kid, once they start seeing some results, then they'll definitely be bought into it.
Yeah. Are you seeing any changes? Like, so what we've been going, I've been heading over to your guys' place every about 8 weeks or so. And when they're in session, obviously summer they're playing and stuff, but have you felt that I've seen a change on the score sheet as far as what I'm evaluating them on? Do you feel like there's a change with how they move in the cage, how they move on the mound, and what it does to their ability to perform?
It's definitely been apparent for some individuals in terms of their swing and how freely those hips move and how fast. And we also use blast motion to kind of helps us read that. It's just another tool that my eyes might be telling me that his hips or his rotation is faster, but I can actually put something on the bat that tells me, he is moving faster. And we have an assessment at the beginning of the year when they come in. They go out and play summer ball, or some kids might go home and do nothing. We don't know, so we give them a baseline test, and then we're going to retest that here before they leave to see if this stuff that has been given to them and what they're doing in the weight room has improved an actual
Yeah.
number that says, hey, he has improved there. So
That's one of so I played, you coach with Reggie, and then I played for Reggie when he very first started, so the head coach at Sac State now. And I remember him at our conversation at the very beginning of this year. I was like, Aaron, I'm done having the conversation at the end of the fall or whatever it is to tell them they haven't improved. I'm just going to allow the numbers to do it. So you guys have gone quite objective on this is where you're starting, this is where you're at in the middle, and this is where you're finishing. And
definitely, we're trying to find a good balance of that. We understand that these kids they have Twitter, they have all these social media platforms for them to go look at what other people are doing, and the Rapsodos and the Trackmans and things like that they have access to and they look at. So we want to give them some of that, that's out there. We don't want to give them a whole lot of it that consumes their mind, like we talked about before.
Right.
So having some baseline numbers for these guys and things that they can see, especially on the pitching side with the Rapsodo thing, it's good for them. See where they're at. It's not just kind of our opinion. It's kind of this is the fact of where you're at.
You're putting in this effort. You're making this change, and this is what we're trusting that's going to have the performance.
Definitely. Elevation. We've had some really good, just in terms of a simple thing like bat speed on the blast motion. We had a kid gain about 20 pounds of muscle, and he went up about 7 miles per hour in bat speed. He can see that and get excited about that and understand that the work he put in actually has translated. Now we just got to make the barrel get to the ball and everything is good.
Small detail. You have to hit the ball. Whatever.
Exactly.
No big deal.